Well, it's been 3 years since I started playing Under Night, and with UNI2 on the horizon, I feel like I could have done better. So many people put their faith in me. So much time, effort, and money spent. I have to do better. And I'm going to start right now. Who's calling? Oh,
Hey Tom, funny running into you here. It's been a while. How's it going?
yeah, I suppose it has been a while, huh? Well, to be honest, I'm feeling a bit down. I just don't know how to get better at Under Night. It's like I've hit a wall.
Well, let's see, Tom. Have you labbed out your problem matchups?
No.
Have you practiced your execution at all? Block strings, movement, combos?
Nope.
Have you watched any footage of your character played by someone else? Any of your own replays, even?
Well, I mean, I've just been so busy lately, and I just haven't really made time to do it.
Okay. Do you know about any of the new mechanics in Uni2?
Oh, yeah, totally. There's this new mechanic that looks like it'll change a lot of matchup dynamics. It's called Guard Thrust. I can't wait to find out more about it.
So you haven't practiced anything. You haven't watched any footage at all, and you don't know the system mechanics in the only fighting game you've been playing regularly for the past 3 years. Has anyone ever mentioned areas that you could improve in as a player, or anything wrong with you in general? Exploitable weaknesses or insecurities, maybe?
Nothing really comes to mind, no.
I can work with this.
And just like that, it seemed that my luck was changing dramatically. Here was an old friend willing to help me become a better player, and with no ulterior motives whatsoever.
I represent an organization that transfers grid blocks among players all across the United States, as well as certain parts of Canada. This organization has been around for several years. We've actually been in business since the original Undernight back in 2012, so we're the real deal. I might be able to help you out, but I need to know if you're going to keep an open mind and hear me out. This program isn't for people who are scared of a challenge. It's for people who blaze their own trail and who don't give in to FUD. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in?
I'm interested. But how do I know you're not going to give me bad advice like that last guy did?
Well, you know Fox to 42, right? Best player in North America, Landrekia main.
Well, I wouldn't exactly call him the best. The guy cracks like an egg if you put a blindfold on him. I only lost 10-1 last time we played, and some of those rounds were pretty close.
Right. So, because I picked the same character Foxov did, I'm already pretty close to being a top player myself. I mean, I haven't played in any brackets in the past 2 years, but I'm sure I'd get at least second place if I did. I've done some combo trials too, so I like to think I know what I'm talking about.
Sure, I'll bite. How long do you think this is going to take?
Only a few minutes. You'll probably understand everything immediately.
2 hours later.
Okay, let's go over this one more time. There are four, count them four, types of undernight gamers. You could divide them up a little bit, but generally speaking, everyone's going to fall into one of these categories. There's the blocker, the masher, the option selector, the Hilda player. Are you good? Can I finally move on?
Sorry, can you repeat that last part one more time? I kind of spaced out.
Are you kidding me? I've gone over this 50 times. As you may already know, most people fall into the first group. They're holding one, they're on their phone rolling gotcha, they're horny posting on Twitter, the usual uni player stuff. You know how it is.
Consistent strategy, very reliable.
Exactly. The blocker doesn't really do anything. It's kind of boring, honestly. They're just kind of sitting there, waiting around. They're not really motivated by anything or have any drive at all, honestly. But other than that, it's a really popular build right now. You see it in Korea all the time. Next, there's the Masher. These players are extremely based. We love Mashers.
Masher's just so hot, man. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, Mashers are godlike. They want their turn and they want to keep it for as long as possible. You can think of them as the underdogs fighting against the establishment. They're kind of like the David to the blocker's Goliath, except the sling is Byakuya 5A.
Oh, sure. When I press 5A, I go 0-2. But when Big Black presses 5A, he wins every bracket he enters for a year and a half. Talk about a double standard.
Next one's a bit complicated, so pay attention. The option selector is the best of both worlds. They combine the tankiness and defensive mitigation of a blocker with the DPS and charisma bonuses of a masher. These gamers are able to achieve twice as many inputs per button compared to the other categories, making them 2 times stronger than non-option selectors. You want to be one of these gamers, and I'm going to get you there.
If these option selectors are so powerful, why aren't they more well known?
In order to maintain the status quo, most option selectors only share their tech with each other through coded messages and private Discord servers. When Silent talks about Chipotle on his Twitter.com, he's actually distributing OS to a secret cabal of elites. I was able to decipher one of them and reverse engineer the input, but it's really important that you don't tell anyone where you got it from. I'm putting myself in grave danger just talking to you about it.
I had no idea the risk was this great. I'm thankful that you trust me with this kind of thing and all, but are you going to be okay?
The best chance of survival for me right now is if you listen very carefully to everything I say and do whatever I tell you to. Anything less than your complete and utter devotion to me is basically murdering me in cold blood, and I will snitch on you from beyond the grave.
I can't go back to prison. They don't have any Ethernet ports in there.
That's what I thought. Now, this last one is pretty self-explanatory. I don't think we need to go into this. Let's just
I was learning some truly life-changing things, and Word was just getting started.
Now, you probably know all about Isaac Newton's 3 laws, not to mention his discovery of the tier list, after which all fighting game discourse was ruined forever.
I still can't believe that Prism puts a got in R tier.
But what you probably don't know is he also pioneered what we know of today as option selects. Over the years, option selects of all kinds have seen widespread use, but there's one that, until recently, has been lost for generations. A secret Undernight OS cheat exploit SQL injection hack that will immortalize its most devout followers into gaming history.
What is it? What is this ancient tree of knowledge, standing so long undisturbed by the madness of modern man and good security practices? Where must I travel? What path must I take so that I may carve my counter-hit bombos into its weathered trunk?
We don't know its true name, but I've taken to calling it Stantec OS, or 4AD for short.
Amazing. How does it work?
Let's say that Landrekia has you cornered. This would normally be pretty scary, but if you hold back and press the throw macro, you either throw him into the corner or tech his throw attempt on you. Multiple options are covered with one selection.
That's incredible. Does every option selector use this?
All the time. French Bread knows how strong this is, so they're lowering the execution floor for UNI2. Instead of misinputting 1 AD and getting shield, just like in the current version, you'll get the 4 AD you wanted instead.
Sweet. I love it when games get easier. Wait a minute. Does this mean that everyone's going to be doing this shit? How am I supposed to gaslight gatekeep grid boss if people are pressing the obnoxious interaction button the second they're put into an unfavorable situation? There's no way French Bread would let something like that happen.
That's why it's important to get out on the ground floor and start stantecking right away. The sooner you start using this OS, the sooner your muscle memory will develop, and the sooner you can start winning your matches.
I can't believe they let something this broken stay in the game. I gotta hop on ranked and start practicing.
Hold on a minute, Tom. What if I told you that 4AD is actually even more powerful than you think? A recent independent study I paid for discovered that after a player successfully performs the 4AD OS 3 times before the cycle ends, you go from something like this to this.
Oh my god. So many grid blocks.
What you're looking at is what we in the business call celestial tier. Not only do you get 12 grid blocks, but you also get a 30% increase in will it kill submissions, thanks to the additional damage you get while you're a member. Doesn't that sound great?
That sounds amazing, Werb. But what if my opponent doesn't feed me grid by approaching? How am I going to get Celestial tier membership then?
Well, Tom, it's a lot easier to attain membership if you have a group of motivated gamers rooting for you. Once you tell your friends all the cool benefits of 4AD, they'll definitely let you stantec them out of appreciation. Then 3 of those friends just have to stantec 3 of their friends, and so on, until eventually everybody's Celestial tier. We'll monopolize the world's grid supply. And then that cute e-boy at my locals will have no choice but to raid with me in Final Fantasy XIV. Please.
This sounds like a pure grid scheme.
I can understand how you might think that, but I'll tell you right now with 1,000% certainty that this is not a pure grid scheme. On the contrary, this is actually an Inbirth funnel system. It's completely different from a pure grid scheme. The names aren't even remotely similar. You're way too smart to fall for something like that anyways, aren't you? You made it this far, don't go back out now. I just need a small coaching fee at 2 grid blocks for my time. You can say hello to a top A finish at the next major.
I mean, I'm sure your company is great and all. It's just that I'm not sure about this whole thing. It just seems kind of...
Uh-oh, it looks like the cycle's almost ended, Tom. You better hurry and lock in your spot.
Oh, shit. It's going to take forever for the next cycle to come around. Okay, I'm in.
I knew you would make the right choice, Tom.
Now that I was finally on my way to greatness, I was eager to take my next steps under Werb's careful supervision. Alright, so, what's next, exactly?
I've taught you everything I know. The rest is up to you, Tom. Make me proud.
Okay, but where do I... Werb? Did he... Werb? Okay. I was eager to take my next steps completely on my own, with no supervision whatsoever. How hard could it be?
Next time on... What are you calling this?
I don't know yet, I'll figure it out later.
Trying to go to the K5. You know that's
Where's my money, huh? Where
I
is
have
it?
your money, they just gave me this Chipotle gift card!
In my professional opinion, just looking at this footage in isolation, I think you may have brain damage.